Hello again. Today I'm doing a book haul and a wrap up. This is my cozy mystery wrap up and book haul. So for those who aren't aware, a cozy mystery is basically a mystery that doesn't have a lot of gritty stories to it. It's basically kind of a small town mystery that you would see on Murder, She Wrote, or maybe Ghost Whisperer or something like that, which is a lighthearted mystery. Sometimes there's a little bit of romance, but in general, it's never gory, it's never highly sexual, it's just stories. There are some cozy mysteries that are in hardcover and some that are, you know, a little bit more advanced than others, but in general, a cozy mystery is just a fun little read that I wanted to get into because I wanted to read stuff in between some of the more serious fantasy and horror and other things that I read. And I did enjoy it. I enjoyed it enough to buy 4 more books. So I don't know how often I will be doing wrap-ups and book hauls, but I plan to, next time I finish these 4 books, I'll buy 4 more and I'll do another one of these videos. But I will pretty much keep them separate from my monthly wrap-ups and reviews since I don't know how often I'll be reading them. Enough about that. Let me actually get into the books. So I'm going to cover the wrap up first. And the first book I'm going to cover, I actually talked about on a book tag, which is Better Dead. This book was a B&B Spirits mystery. This is actually the first in a series. The story of Better Dead is about Holly, whose soon-to-be ex-husband Burl dies in a plane crash. And he comes back to haunt her. And she's trying to run this B&B inn, trying to make ends meet, having a lot of trouble, having some issues with Burl's death plus him haunting her. So she goes to Jake McCann, who is a former lover of hers before she met Burl, for help because he runs the newspaper and she wants to get some ad space in the newspaper, and he makes a deal with her where he actually stays in this B&B. What you find out is Jake is actually investigating Holly because he suspects this drug running ring might have something to do with Holly. What you find out is it actually has something to do with Burl, and the story is basically cracking this drug running ring. And it was really a fun story. I really enjoyed it. I was expecting a murder mystery right away, and that wasn't really what it was. There was a murder mystery near the end that you realize, but it really was about cracking this drug ring. I actually think this was my favorite out of the 4 books I read for my first cozy mystery wrap-up. This was my favorite, Better Dead. I really did enjoy it. I love the humor in this, and it's a great book. Next 2 I'm going to talk about are both from the same author, Carol J. Perry. These are the Witch City Mysteries. This is about Lee Barrett, who comes from Salem, Massachusetts. I did enjoy these both books. In Grave Errors, she is a teacher for a TV production class, and they go to a graveyard, and you find out that there is a missing persons case by one of her students, and she gets involved in that. She has this gift of clairvoyance that plays into this story, and it's a pretty enjoyable story. I did enjoy it. That's why I picked up another book in the book haul by the same author. So that was the story of Grave Errors. Again, I did enjoy it. Pretty interesting story. And a pretty nice character that I'm looking forward to reading more of. The Witch City Mysteries. The next one in the Witch City Mysteries that I read was It Takes a Coven. And this one also was pretty enjoyable. This is about Lee Barrett going to a wedding as a maid of honor. You find out somebody dies. There's a whole mystery behind it. Someone's kind of framed for it. And you find out everything that's going on. Really fun story. A lot of action in this. A lot of action in the other one too. A lot of action in this that I did enjoy. And a pretty fun little book. And that is It Takes a Coven. And the last one I'm going to talk about in my wrap up is Dial Meow for Murder. Which, if you know about cozy mysteries, usually they're about animals or food. In fact, a bunch of these have recipes. I think all of these have recipes in the back. And this one is about Daphne, who has a basset hound named Socrates. And what happens is there is a person who dies whose cat's name is Tinkerton. And what happens is the person who dies obviously was murdered. And what you find out is that her mother is actually one of the prime suspects. You find out that Tinkerton's owner had a house that he was either going to give to a shelter, or her mother, who was a real estate person, was going to sell it. So there's all these questions. Did she kill the owner because she wanted to sell the house? And it was a pretty interesting story. I actually did enjoy this. This is probably, I would say, almost my second favorite, I think, out of the 4. I did really enjoy this book. Very nice, lighthearted story, and a lot of twists and turns. And this has homemade pet recipes in the back instead of actual food recipes. But a pretty enjoyable book. I might pick up more of these. This is by Bethany Blake. That is Dial Meow for Murder. That's the end of the wrap-up. Now let me talk about the book haul. I just picked these up only a few days ago. I was at a Barnes & Noble, had a huge selection of cozy mysteries, and since I just finished them, I decided I'll just pick up 4 more. So the first one I did pick up was another Carol J. Perry story, which is Murder Go Round. I believe this is the first Witch City mystery, so I can actually get the background, since those two weren't, about Lee Barrett getting her clairvoyant powers, her ESP, and it sounded pretty interesting, and I wanted to really, continue on with that series, get it from the beginning. So that is Murder Go Round by Carol J. Perry. Another one I believe is another first in the series, which I tried to get, which is Carolyn Hart's Bhost Gone Wild. This story sounds interesting. This is about a woman who died, obviously, and I guess she gets sent to help in this incident and gets trapped on Earth in her old hometown, and it reminds me kind of like a Touched by an Angel type of thing, I guess. She has to find the person who is trying to kill this character, Nick. It sounded interesting enough, so I decided to pick it up and give it a try. That is Bhost Gone Wild. Next one is Ghost of a Potion, which sounded interesting. This is about a woman who obviously talks to ghosts. She gets embroiled into a murder investigation because the architect Haywood Dodd plans to make a big announcement at this party she goes to. He winds up dying, and then Patricia, her boyfriend's mother, is there holding the murder weapon. So it's a little like Dial Meow for Murder, as far as somebody connected to her is charged with, is suspected of murder. So she actually has to solve the case, or wants to solve the case to clear her mother-in-law's suspicion. And of course, because she speaks to dead people, Haywood Dodd is haunting her, along with some other ghosts who have unresolved issues. So this sounded interesting. It is called The Magic Potions Mysteries, and I am looking forward to it. That is Ghost of a Potion. Next one is another first in the series, Woof at the Door. Which is a play on, I guess, Wolf at the Door. Woof at the Door. This is about basically a woman who talks to animals. So a Dr. Doolittle character, which is, her name is Grace Wilde. Somebody dies, and the only witness to the murder, or only one who knows anything about the murder, is the deceased person's Doberman, who she can actually communicate with. Now obviously she can't tell people she's communicating with a dog, and they would believe her. So this sounds like a fun little book. I am looking forward to reading this. That is Woof at the Door, A Call of the Wild Mystery by Laura Morrigan. And those are the 4 books I picked up. Those are the 4 books that I've read. Thanks again for watching, and I hope to see you soon. Bye.